right, Younger Life Live. Ryan Beth in place of Rick Federighi today and Mary Anthony.
Good morning. That's Ryan. How's it going, Ryan?
Oh, I'm doing okay. I'm gonna try not to be Rick because I'm not Rick.
No one can be Rick but Rick.
No,
you know what I mean?
I don't know where he gets his energy
He's
or
fabulous.
how, but
I know it. Every day, he's always raring to go. It's great.
He's a little firecracker, and that's not in reference to his red hair.
That's funny. Well, today we're going to kind of focus on a few different things with the sunshine out there and, kind of get you excited to be moving. So we have Melinda here from Curves today. She is the owner, right, Melinda, of the Curves here in Michigan City. So we're going to kind of learn a little bit about her and about Curves.
Actually, it's Curves Jenny Craig now, so it's dual branded, 2 businesses under one roof. But yeah, we love to see the sunshine and the good weather, but all year long exercise is important, and so that's what we do. We get in our little circuit and we have a 30-minute workout. It's a combination of strength training and cardio, and we have a lot of fun, have a lot of camaraderie, and we motivate each other to come in and get our workout done. It's quick and effective, and it's fun while we do it.
That's great.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Can you tell us how you got involved with Curves?
Well, let's see. Curves opened in Michigan City in 2001, and I went in there actually with a friend with a little free week coupon to try it. And I was talking with the girl. It was like their grand opening, and I loved the concept of it. It was new. I hadn't heard of that kind of thing. It was women only, and it was so quick. It was 90 minutes of exercise done in 30 minutes, basically. And they had the energy going in there, and the music was up, and it just seemed so fun. And in our interview, of course, we were being crazy. I was with a couple of friends, and the girl that was taking care of us, I asked her, I kind of was joking. I was a stay-home mom at the time, and I said, can I just get a job here? It just came out of my mouth in fun conversation.
Yeah.
And then when I left there, after we did the workout, and I was really impressed with the whole concept of it, and then I left, and I thought, I'm really serious, and surely she thinks I was joking because we were being crazy. I came back in a couple of days later, and the owner was at the counter, and I told him, I mentioned to your girl that I was interested in working here, and he had my name, and she took me serious. So within about a week, I was working part-time, and so I worked with her. She was the manager at the time, and I never imagined that it would ever be mine. But about 4 years ago, the opportunity came up, and he was ready to move on and sell it. And so my husband and I have owned it for the last 4 years, and I honestly can't think of anything that I would rather be doing.
It's fantastic. I love that it kind of just fell, into place that easily, which sometimes those things are the most successful. When it's something that just you really like. I said joking. That's awesome.
Yeah, I had really not even thought of looking to do something like that, and that was my first experience of it back then. And then Curves started popping up everywhere, and everybody was doing it, and I don't know. I don't think there's a better workout. I love because it applies to so many women's needs. You can do so much. There's a wide range of fitness levels and ages, and the camaraderie and the friendships and the exercise, of course, is so important, but just getting the people out of their home and getting them into a gym that's not like the typical gym, which, nothing wrong with those, but for some people, that's what it took to
That's too intimidating sometimes. Yeah. Right. Absolutely. Yeah. I love that. What about the, is that what it is about the Curves brand, the Curves type workout that is, makes you so passionate about it? Is the fact that is the social connection as well, and the really being each other's cheerleaders a little bit different.
Yeah, it's really like a family. I know that sounds silly, but it's true. The friendships and the bonds. Like I said, I've been there for 15 years. I did have to, after I left Curves for about 6 months because I was homeschooling my kids, and I had, they were younger. It was a long time ago, and I had things it was just wasn't really fitting for me, but I hated to leave Curves. And after 6 months, I was asked to come back, and then I've been there ever since. And so I do feel like it was meant to be for me, as everything did work out for me. I had tough choices to make when I stepped away, and I didn't know that I'd have that opportunity again. And so then I did. But the friendships and the bonds of the women through the years are so important to me. There's people who maybe even aren't current members anymore, but when I see them somewhere, it's just, I don't know, it's just a great bond. There's people who've had to move away to other places, and then they found Curves where they're at. Some of them have, some of them haven't. But yeah, coming together and
that connection.
Yeah, and you can come anytime, so some people come at the same time every week, every day, 3 times a week or whatever. And then they get to know the other people that are on the circuit at that time. But we also do outside events so that we get to mingle a little bit more.
Oh, that's
And so
neat.
that makes the friendships even more strong. But yeah, the connection between the ladies, I think, is the best for me. Because even, I look forward to being there. I was out one time for a couple of months, and I had to have a surgery a long time ago. And I was out for a couple of months, and it drove me crazy that I didn't have my 200 women to talk to.
Oh, that's so nice.
I mean,
though.
my husband
really
talks a lot, but women, we talk more.
yeah, that's nice. I like that a lot. I'm curious if Curves as a brand on the whole, do they have a mission, or do you have a mission that's specific to your?
Strengthening women. That's
the strength.
Yeah, strengthening women one at a time. The little story about the starfish on the beach and the little boy that's throwing them back, and the man walks by and says, "You can't possibly make a difference because there's so many out here." And the little boy says, "Well, I made a difference to that one. I made a difference to that one." So with Jenny Craig, that starfish story rings true all throughout the company. Both Jenny Craig and Curves are just, really great companies that are giving people back their lives and back their flexibility, but definitely strengthening women. That's Curves' mission.
And that's your mission then,
And it's my
personally
mission
too.
as
I think
well.
you're pretty good at it. I've talked to Melinda was super sweet enough to invite me to come to the gym as much as I could up in, while we were talking, and which unfortunately isn't as often as I need to. Let's just be honest. But it was it was nice to be in the environment, and I got to speak with many of the women that were there, and they all said the same thing about Melinda. I mean, really in different ways. They love her, and the social aspect is really such a key component, I feel like, versus to a standard gym where you go, you take care of your business. And, Ryan, you guys have, you and Brittany, he and his significant other have been very active in gym since the new year in a gym. And, and that's great. You go and you get done what you're there for, but there are a lot of people that are not just comfortable doing that, or that need the motivation. They need that connection that Curves brings to remain going, and to, it is an out for them. And that's what I was finding was in common with all of these awesome people that I met there, where they just love Melinda because they feel that she is so motivating, keeps them going, keeps them coming back, and keeps them moving. And everybody said that she's motivating, that she's bubbly, that she's just you care so much about your participants. And I think that's fantastic. I'm curious what inspires you to keep motivating others, and not even just the members, but others in general. What inspires you to keep doing that and keep such a positive attitude?
Well, I think they inspire me. So I think it's just a circle, because excuse me, I'm motivated by them. I have several members who have achieved, great things, or maybe they have circumstances that are really tough, and it doesn't matter. They still come, they still go on, they still keep their smile. And, everybody might not know what they're going through, but sometimes I'll know something that they're going through, and that inspires me. But, hearing the stories of people coming back in, and the doctor was happy because their blood pressure is lowered, or, it's not, Curves is so, it's more, all exercise is good for us, obviously, but it's, I like it because it's realistic. We're not all in there so that we can, wear a bikini on the beach.
Right.
It's for real life, so for flexibility, and for people that have history of heart disease in their families, or breast cancer, or, all types of things that people are dealing with. So when I hear stories of that, or people that are just feeling down and depressed, and then they get started and they get going, and maybe we'll have a contest, and it'll cause them to come in a little bit more, and then they get in the swing of things, and then they're like, when's the next contest? I love to see their spark of excitement.
Right.
So I go through times where I'm up and down just like any normal person, and they inspire me. So
That's nice. Have you always been, I know you've been doing this a long time, but have you always kind of had health and fitness been a big part of your life or centered yourself around that?
When I came there, like I said, to check out the free week at Curves way back, I was just a typical person who, I joined gyms and did it for a while and didn't do it for a while, and never like a health nut or, making sure that I ate everything right. By no means, just a regular person. And that's what I kind of like about it, is we're all just a bunch of regular people trying to make better choices. And, we're not perfect, but we're looking for progress, not perfection.
Right.
And so, no, I wasn't really this wasn't something that I always wanted to do.
You weren't obsessed about it, right? Nothing that consumed you.
No, but I was just so impressed with the company, with Curves, and with the program, the workout. And then once I started making all these relationships with these ladies, it just, like I said, I can't imagine doing anything else.
So I have to ask, is it women only?
Yes.
Okay, I wasn't for sure. Obviously, that's who I had been speaking with. I wasn't for sure if that was just coincidental. Honestly, I wasn't. So I wanted just to clarify for that.
Yeah, that's what kind of sets us apart from other gyms. It is women only. The Jenny Craig side, we have men.
Okay.
Of that.
That can be either.
Yeah.
I think that's great.
But I can see how that would be more comfortable for some women, because gyms like that I've gone to in the past can be very intimidating, because you'll have guys that are doing squats, doing like these power lifts, or you'll have me on like the bike, sweating like a pig. And even just like seeing that, like I could see how that would be very intimidating. And it's nice to know that there are other gyms for people that might not feel comfortable in a situation like that, because it's not
it's
for
options. That's
everybody.
right. That's absolutely a very good point. It is, and at least it gives you another option. And I can attest to the actual workout is a very good workout. I did it, and it certainly is. Boy, my heart rate was up, and I was, what's nice about the actual workout is pretty much any workout that you do, you can put as much into it and going to still get those benefits. For someone that might have joint issues or something, it can always be modified. And I liked that about it a lot. I thought that was really good. And, the options, it's just important. What I love the most is I did witness the camaraderie among the women. And I think that is really... it's important. I mean, it's important to use that to stay motivated. It's important to use that, they say that's why some, jogging groups or walking groups are more successful, because someone else is there that kind of is saying, hey, we haven't seen you in a little while.
Right.
You told me the sweetest story about, you actually have people of all ages, obviously young people up to not so young, only young at heart, I should say.
Right.
But and that to me is inspiring to know that can you tell us what your oldest member, how old your oldest member is?
Yes, because she's proud of it. And
it's extremely right.
Yeah, it's Eleanor, and she's 92. Well, she'll be 92 this summer, I believe.
Isn't that fabulous?
And that's amazing.
It is. And I think the reason that she probably is so dedicated to coming back is she knows there's people there that are going to miss her when she isn't, and say, hey, why aren't you doing this? And this is so good for her. But aside from just the being good for her, we all know things, it might be a little bit better for us, but it's easier to slack on those when you don't have someone there kind of, to say, hey, we missed you, I love that. And I think that is inspiring, I think, just to know that her dedication. That's
and she's
incredible.
She's the sweetest lady. And the cute thing, one of the cutest things about it is she started Curves when she was 79.
See?
Oh, wow.
So that's the message that I want people to know, that it doesn't, yes, it's better to start, the earlier the better.
Right.
And to carry that on through your life, but it's never too late to start exercising. And with the Curves workout, it's hydraulics. So you're, and you're only on each piece of equipment for 30 seconds, which sounds crazy, but it's proven. The whole thing is scientifically proven. If you do as many repetitions as you can in that 30 seconds, then you'll overload your muscles. So of course that's going to be a totally different amount of reps for, different people. Somebody besides you might be doing twice as many or half as many as you are. But the beauty of it is you do as many reps as you can do. So when you hear the prompt tell you to change stations now, the goal is to feel like you couldn't have done one more rep. So, and you worked really hard.
It was nice, it was nice. But I love, and I witnessed, people at every level when I was there. And that's what I really did. I do, I like to listen to them talk. Sometimes I like to chat too, but I like to listen and think, wow, these people really depend on each other to stay motivated. And, it is inspiring to listen to. For listeners and viewers that we have out there at Younger Life Live, what would you tell them, Melinda, would be the first step if someone's interested in taking the first step towards just, making the commitment to physical exercise? How should they begin?
Well, just in general, if whatever program that you're going to start, of course, I'd love to have the ladies come to Curves,
right?
But whatever program, I think sometimes we think in our mind, well, I don't have an hour and a half, 4 times a week to do that.
Right.
But if you have 10 minutes, then make the most of your 10 minutes. And the more you do, the more you'll want to do. And it is addictive in a good way, because when people say, I'm going to go for a walk and clear my mind, you really are. It's not just a saying. The endorphins that get going, that our bodies produce when we do physical exercise, really elevate your sense of well-being. So the more you do, the more you're going to want to do. You may have to push yourself in the beginning, but just bite off a little chunk, and just get moving. Just make the commitment to yourself that maybe you're going to walk for 5 or 10 minutes a day, 3 times a week. And pretty soon when you're out there and you're on minute number 9, you'll think, well, I can go do a few more.
Yeah.
But by all means, if you're looking for, I know that there are many different places where you can go, and there's a lot of programs that work. It's like you said, it's exactly what we put into it is what we're going to get out of it. They haven't made a program yet where we don't have to work at it.
Wouldn't that be nice? It's not realistic, but that would be nice. Yeah.
But until then, if you're looking for a women's only place, then certainly come to Curves and check it out. We offer, a single workout for people to see if they like it.
Good
and
point.
walking is great, but you also need some kind of strength training. Walking is great cardio, and it will help your overall health, make you feel better and everything. But you need some kind of strength, especially as we're aging. The older we get, then the more muscle that we're losing.
Yeah.
So strength training is what causes us to keep the muscle and build muscle to protect our bones. So, you got to think about things like osteoporosis and all those things. The more muscle that we have to protect our bones, then the better off we are for everyday life. That's what Curves is just meant to be a part of someone's full life.
Right.
There's many things you can do, and of course a variety of exercise is always the best. But I would say for the person who just needs to get started, thinking of it in tiny increments is a good jump start. You don't have to do it all overnight.
I like that. I mean, it makes it a lot less intimidating to think, oh, anybody, you can do it for 5 minutes. You know what I mean? And so that is nice, especially when it's been so gorgeous. Like right now, it does get you a little bit motivated, whether you're working indoors or outdoors, working out indoors or out. It still is much more motivating when it's nice outside, kind of gets you going for spring, and it feels good. It does. Today is one of those gorgeous mornings.
Oh, it really is. And this weekend, even though we're supposed to get a little bit of rain at the end, but tomorrow's going to be absolutely gorgeous.
Right. Good. Right, knowing, and by the way, that's a really good point, Ryan. We're supposed to have a very nice weekend. I would encourage, please, listeners, call in and tell us what your ideas are for, to get moving on the nice weekend. And if we have listeners out there that are interested in giving Curves a try, Melinda has been very generous to offer up a month for them. So please call us, give us your information. If you don't want to give it out over the air, we can take your number and call you back. So
we can, and our live call-in line is 219-861-1632.
I'm interested to hear what our listeners have in store for themselves this weekend. I know I struggle with motivation. Okay, I've said this before. I always want to do these things or want to commit to them, and I find myself, not being able to maintain the motivation to keep doing it. It's difficult, and life gets in the way, life gets busy, and you think, oh yeah, I'll start that tomorrow. I find myself doing that often. So I'd love to hear what other people do to stay motivated and find enjoyment in it. I never regret doing a workout, or I never regret getting outside, going for a walk, or going to do something. I love doing it. Especially once I've done it, I think, wow, that felt so good. That's motivating in itself to say, I want to do this again. But I'm interested to hear what our listeners kind of have going on this weekend. I know as far as indoor things, we had Maestro Philip on earlier this week, and
we did.
The symphony will be Sunday.
Yes.
And it should be a great show. So anybody that's interested in, doing something inside a little bit different, you can go and stretch your brain. We talked about how good music is for the brain, and your overall well-being. We did that was really interesting, all the health benefits, the healing powers of music. So
yeah, that's another thing too for people, like if you're going to start like just a short walk, like I was saying, put on your favorite music, and that's very motivating. And that at Curves we have a wide variety of music. We have anything from, I don't know what was on when you were there, but we have like classic rock, 50s show tunes, and then
that's so
current
fun.
things. We have all, but they're all sped up to the 130 to 140 beats a minute.
Really?
So it keeps you going in the flow of the circuit.
Look at that little sneaky trick. I like it.
I do a very similar thing too, because like I'll have music on that's, I usually do like alternative rock, which it's usually a little bit faster. So I mean, I notice that when I'm like out like riding my bike, my feet are going to the beat of whatever the music is. So I mean, that's something that can also absolutely motivate you when you're already out.
Right. Yeah. All of the Curves music. So some people, they'll get used to coming to Curves and working out to that music. And then, or myself especially, because I'm in there, all day, and the music's pumping and I like it. And then I'll hear one of those on the radio and I'm like, oh, why is this song dragging?
That's funny.
It's not our version.
Slow it down. That's funny.
Because I get used to it the way we have it.
Right.
But music is a great tool for motivation. And we, I mentioned we do contests. We have like a big survivor contest that we do in the summertime, and we split everyone who wants to participate. We split them into 2 tribes, and then we have actual bandanas. So like we usually have a yellow team and a green team, and so we'll. It really increases the amount of times that people will come in through the week because we have all kinds of challenges, and and that's like on a big scale with the whole tribe, and then we're motivating each other within that tribe. But when a person just walks in the door and we sit down with them for the first time, which I didn't get to do that experience with you because I just threw you right out there and we were hopping for the workout.
Yeah, and it was great.
But we try to sit down with the person and go over exactly what their needs are and what because and I keep repeating that, but Curves offers such a wide variety of solutions to so many different people in different situation,
right? Because
your goal may just be to not hurt at night, or it might be for your back pain in the morning to be less, or to be able to sit on the floor and play with your grandkids, to go up and down the stairs without feeling winded, or it might be that you want to lose 23 pounds by a certain date. Everybody's in a different place, and
absolutely.
So you have a wedding or a class reunion or a certain dress that you want to fit into. So it's about weight loss, it's about flexibility, it's about everything, all the needs. So then we try to find the real X factor for that person, and later on then we can use that and bring it back up with them. Right. So when a person's trying to become motivated themselves, looking at the pros and the pros, that's a Jenny Craig thing. Instead of the pros and cons, we look at the pros and the pros. What are the pros of exercising and what are the pros of not exercising?
It's a good point. It actually reminds me, we've had Dr. Leva on a couple times, who is awesome, and she's actually a health coach through LaPorte Hospital. She's not taking patients or anything, but she has spoke with us a few times, and she says, how you're saying to list the pros and the pros of not, she actually recommends that for everyone setting a goal towards living a healthier lifestyle, whether that's physical exercise or just whatever, because she says it's easier when you actually can see it on paper, and it kind of helps you formulate that goal. And we have Jackie, Jenny, and Dwayne, our 3 listeners that we have that are trying to find new ways to live healthier, and they kind of they're working with us and letting us kind of like check their progress. And so they've been working with Dr. Leva on, when they're here, she's calling in, and that is the number one thing she says significantly helps out anyone trying to reach a goal is you have to know what your goals are, and to get there, you have to kind of decipher why it's important to you.
Right.
And I think that's a great, and I love that the pro and pros, that's a great way to look at it, and positive. I know we're all about being positive here as much as you can. So that's a good way to put it, is the pros of doing it and the pros of not, and kind of comparing those out.
And you really get serious with yourself and really list them out for whether it's whatever, like you said, whatever goal.
Because it is different for everyone, regardless. Even if it is we're just talking lose weight, it's certainly different for everyone, and the reasons behind it are so different. So and the persistence that it takes, because you're going to have obstacles no matter what what we do. You know, you're going to have obstacles, you're going to have hurdles, and you might fail, and that's okay too. Right. And then what's important is the, you know, resiliency to get back up and do it.
We're looking for progress, not perfection.
Yeah.
And so in setting those goals, when the person first comes in the door with both Curves or Jenny Craig, you know, we're finding out exactly what their goals are, and then what we have that would best help them reach that goal.
Right.
And sometimes just them talking through it themselves, they become more clear what their goal is. So then, and we have a lot of crazy fun and we're silly along the way, but we really do take it very seriously that we're going to reach these goals.
Right.
And so then one way that we help monitor that is every month, at the beginning of every month, we weigh and measure every member. And then we have the machine that calculates your body fat percentage. So we not only look at the scale, because sometimes the scale cannot be your friend,
right.
you know, because there's so many variables and so many things change when you're, you know, eating healthy, when you're, or whatever, however you're eating. You know,
right.
Some people are there just to exercise and they're not necessarily changing their diet. That might not be what they're interested in. Anyway, when you're exercising, muscle weighs more than fat.
Right.
So you can't just go by the scale. So that's why we do measurements, we do the scale, and we do the body fat percentage. So we measure, we want to first set realistic goals, you know, that we can reach, and we can set new goals as we reach those, instead of trying to set ourselves up for something that's not attainable.
Right.
So we won't try to set reasonable goals, and then we monitor those by weighing and measuring, and just making new goals at that little coaching session.
Right.
And maybe that person didn't make it in at least 3 times a week. You know, we're there 6 days a week. Some people come 5 or 6 times. Some people come 3 times. Some people, because they're really kind of doing it as a physical therapy type thing, they get there twice a week and they get their benefit.
Yeah.
So it's just so personalized to what you want. But then we can look at, say, what the pros and pros were, and is this 2 times a week getting you where you want to get?
Right.
And if not, then we make a new commitment. So we joke about the 30-30, because Curves is a 30-minute workout, 30-second intervals, and we recheck it every 30 days. So you only have to think of life in a 30-second interval, or a 30-minute interval, or a 30-day interval. And then just tugging away at it a little bit at a time.
Right. That's definitely.
And I like that too, about, like, you know, actually, like, weighing, and not just going by the physical pounds, but also by, like, you know, the body fat content and all of those, because I myself right now, for the past, I'd say probably about 3 weeks, I've been at about a plateau. And
Ryan, don't kid yourself though. Ryan has done very, very well. He's been very successful since the beginning of the year when they really started. He lost 20 pounds.
Awesome.
I mean, that's pretty
very
incredible.
Yeah.
So I've still got about 30 pounds to go to where I want to be, but
so he'll be a skinny rail at that point.
Well, I mean, I want to be back at, you know, the weight that I was back when I was, you know, playing football and swimming. But I mean, I'm happy to say that this shirt did not fit me. It's on January 1st.
Doesn't that feel good?
Oh, see, that's
It feels
nice.
great.
Yeah, bravo.
That's what you got to celebrate, those little.
That's so true.
achievements.
That's it. You know, you reach a little tiny goal.
Yeah.
You know, feel good about that. Take a minute to acknowledge that. You know, that's motivating in itself.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's motivating to keep going, and I
it seemed
love
like
that.
all of these other numbers, you know, fluctuate, but even the weight's staying the same. Like, my body fat has gone down, but my muscle has gone up, which is, I mean, that in itself is very encouraging. And I know that's what's, you know, keeping me from the gym some nights is a good old Netflix marathon, but I've got to stop it.
That's okay sometimes though. You can't.
True.
It's all about balance.
It's all about balance, and I think that's my favorite thing about the show is we're always looking for that balance, and that's why I love to hear what other people do, and because truthfully, I learn so much, and I'm always taking away stuff from the show to try to find better balance in my life and in my family's life and well-being. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I love that about the show. So I think it's so true. It's okay to Netflix marathon sometimes, right?
Well, see, I've actually found a way to, like, kind of cheat, because on, like, the stationary bikes, they've got a little place where I can, like, actually set my phone.
Yeah.
I'll actually be on my phone watching Netflix while
And
I'm
working
riding the
out.
bike. And it's nice because I don't have to watch where I'm going at all.
Yeah, that's so true.
And I can
There's
just,
the
like,
perk to
zone
not
out.
being on the road.
I can zone out, watch The Walking Dead. I can watch, you
Yeah.
know, Game of Thrones, all of these great shows that are so binge-worthy.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know that is true, and that's nice. And you know, I know when Stacey Kellogg was here last, when you talk about that, she had said that one of her tricks to stay motivated, she's an avid hiker. She loves to backpack. She will download or purchase an album or a book on tape that she's really been interested in and really been excited about, but not allow herself to listen to it until she's on the trail, which I think is fabulous. It goes back to the walking kind of thing where you, it is motivating, but that makes her then, she's dying to get out on a trail because of that. So, and pointing out, Ryan, with you on the stationary bike or anything you're doing where you're indoors, it is a safe environment. You're not so concerned about what's going on and you're able to just kind of go for it. And you know, that's really nice. What's fun about the curves is being that it actually, the stations are set up in a circle. You know what I mean? So, when I was referring to listening to the ladies visit, you can hear, you know, they're able to go at it, whatever they're on, whatever they're doing, whichever station that they're at, and still continue their conversations because they're looking at one another. They're literally in a circle. It's nice. Yeah. And I say whatever keeps you motivated and keeps you going is so important.
Right. And, you know, it depends. Some days, like we have different classes. We have like a balance class. We have a strength class. And then we have a Jillian Michaels, which is a challenging strengthening class. So with all of our classes, you're doing those in between the machines. So you're always getting the circuit machines, but then you're doing different moves in between. Classic curves workout, you're kind of marching in place in between. So we encourage the ladies. We don't encourage them not to talk because that is a big part of it.
It is.
But we want to make sure that your form, you know, that we're coaching to make sure that your form is correct and that you're pushing hard, because sometimes when you do get talking, then you
get a little lax.
It's only 30 seconds and you have to remember to keep in charge of that. But we recommend that if you're coming together or if you just make friends while you're there, which happens all the time,
right?
Then talk while you're on the recovery boards. And where there's maybe a machine between you, then you can chit chat, get back on your machine, you pump hard, you talk again, you know. But anyway, but they do find a way to.
I love it. I love listening to it. You know, I'm a people watcher, anyways. I enjoy. I am always fascinated by human behavior in general, but I like to watch people, especially when they are happy, and I like to know why they're doing these things, and so it's engaging for me to kind of sit back and listen. And
there's a wide variety of people too. There's some people who really don't want to do all that talking. That's okay.
Absolutely.
And it's a little. If you close your eyes, people know to leave you alone. You're doing something.
They know you're working
your
hard.
Personalities,
right?
Not not that they're being unfriendly. They just, some people like to be quiet and focus on it.
They're there for different reasons too. Yeah.
So some people will chit chat when they come in or when they leave. I mean, we have some people that meet at the same time and they'll stay for 20, 30 minutes and talk when they're done. Yeah. Because we just have a lot of fun together. But yeah, you want to focus on it and work as hard as you can. But by rule of thumb, you should be able to carry on a conversation without being completely winded. So that helps us be able to tell where everybody's at. But with the classes and the different things that we do, then, you know, that draws in different crowds. There's some people that are looking for that Jillian Michaels extra punch. And honestly, I don't know of I know there's plenty of workouts just as good, but I don't know of one that's any better than if you're looking for an intense workout, then doing those Jillian Michaels.
Well, everybody's seen her on The Biggest Loser. She's pretty intense, you know. Yeah, she's awesome.
Planks and mountain climbers and crow push-ups and all these things in rock star jumps, whatever, in between the actual machines.
Right.
And it's a great 30-minute workout. We have the heart monitor that makes sure that we're keeping our heart rate in the right zone. Then we have the stretching circuit at the end, so you get a nice stretch so that you're kind of cooled down, ready to face the rest of your day when you leave. But it offers so many different aspects, you know, for whoever.
Yeah, I love it. I mean, I love the getting up and moving regardless. I mean, do something. That's time and time again. We've had so many people on that are inspiring and that have found what works for them. And I think that overall, across the board, they say, you know, do something, change something. If you're not happy, or you're just, even if you are happy, but just ready to kind of, you know, engage in behaviors that will improve our overall health, do something. And, you know, I'm curious do either of you have plans for the weekend when it's supposed to be so nice to do something on the healthier side?
I myself I'm probably going to go into Chicago to celebrate St. Patrick's Day. And actually I was there last weekend and I actually walked almost 19,000 steps.
Do you have a Fitbit? or a tracker.
I actually have a fitness tracker on my phone.
Oh, fantastic. Wow.
To motivate yourself.
And it's great in Chicago, too, because like you can just get lost. Even
you don't even notice that
you're
walking
that's
that
so
much.
true.
Yeah.
I mean, I never take cabs. I try to take public transit as little as I can. Even if it's within like a 2-mile walk, I'll still walk there.
Right.
And
It feels good.
And you enjoy it.
And it's going to be just such a beautiful day. I mean, there's no reason not to be outside.
Do you know, it's funny, Melinda, I heard you say the Fitbit or a tracker of
Some
any
kind of
sort
tracker.
can be such a good motivator. It really is. You know, I joked I'm competitive, and I am competitive, but I'm competitive a lot with my own self. When I first started wearing my Fitbit, I could not. The first couple days, it was, you know, it all lit up. I had reached my steps, you know, my 10,000 steps.
Get your little vibration.
Oh, yeah, everything was good. And I was like, oh, this is a breeze, man. The first time that I couldn't, you know, when it was to the point where it's like evening and I still have lots of steps to go, I think, oh my gosh, I cannot let it beat me. The first time I remember, as my kids are like, you know, getting ready for bed, I'm jogging in place. I'm like stomping through the house. And my kids say, what are you doing? You know, and I laugh and say, they too, obviously come by it a little naturally. My husband and I both we're all a little competitive, but you know, I say, this thing cannot beat me. And then they're like, go mom, you know, step it up. You still have 100 steps to go. You know, you're like trying to kill yourself. I love it. That is motivating. And it's a great
fun
example
for your kids too. And that's what we find a lot of our ladies, once they get moving and doing something, then it does motivate their kids too. But that's one of the things that we track in our contests that we do.
Oh, really?
All of the steps that they walk outside of the club also count for points. For
that's nice.
For the contest. Yeah. And we sell a pedometer at Curves. It's a 7-day pedometer, so you can click back and see it clears out at midnight every night.
Yeah.
But then a lot of people now have the Fitbits. I know I got one for Christmas.
Yeah.
So
nice.
It's really cool. So yeah, that's any way you can measure your success.
Absolutely. 19,000 steps though is huge, right?
Yeah.
Just to put this in perspective, the typical goal that starts with most fitness trackers are 10,000 steps a day, you know, so which is equivalent to roughly 5 miles. Is that right? That's what they say.
Yeah.
That's kind of the goal. So, I mean, 19,000 steps is, I mean, you nearly doubled. And I mean, that's pretty incredible, especially to have it be in a fun setting where it was unintentional. It was just you know, side benefit. I like that.
Because this is going on like, you know, Michigan Avenue. And this wasn't even counting because we went ice skating. This wasn't even
you didn't have it on when you ice skated.
I didn't have it with me.
Right.
So that was all just, you know, that was probably 2 hours that I didn't have.
And that is a lot of muscle use. I did that this year. My husband and I and our kids have gone a couple times this winter, and wow, you use such different muscle. Like you feel it in different spots of the legs. It is. It's so important to do different things like that. And
because I know that Brittany, like my girlfriend Brittany, she's even still sore a little bit too from that, just because I mean it's muscles that we're not used to using.
It is, and you know you hold yourself at a different stance to retain that balance. You know what I mean? And so I just think it's a lot of fun, but you definitely engage a lot of different muscles.
That's actually what I was starting to say when I was mentioning the classes. Like with the Jillian Michaels classes, she changes it. Excuse me. Every month it's new exercises, and the same with we have a dance and fit class and different classes, so they don't stay the same, so your body doesn't get used to that same thing. But we definitely do encourage people to do other activities outside of the club too. Ice skating's great. Anything that you love to do that's active. It doesn't have to be something you hate to qualify as exercise.
That's it, and you know it shouldn't be, because if it is, it's something you're never going to stick to. Right. You know, that's just it. It's something that you're never going to be able to retain and you know keep going. So I'm curious, Melinda, anything that you're going to be doing during the nice weekend
I don't have an outdoor activity planned. Actually, I'm trying to think now how I can fit it in, because
I know doesn't that sound like a great time?
I'll be at Curves for the first half of the day, and then I'm supposed to be taking my little niece to a painting, one of those like canvas glow in the dark.
How fun. Well, I hope it's a wine and canvas for the grown-ups. That makes it a whole lot more fun, but you know, really that sounds fun. That's nice.
Yeah, but I am very, very encouraged and excited about the weather, because it's fun to get out and
it really
do
is.
things.
It gets everyone excited, which is fun. You know, I haven't even decided. I'm not sure what we're going to be doing. I know one of my children has an indoor track meet, which is fun, but they are lengthy, so that eats up a large portion of the day. So we'll see. But you know, it is thankfully at a school, and what's nice about that is there's going to be a playground somewhere, so it's nice for the kids. And you know what we've done before when we get, I don't want to say get stuck at, but when we are at locations like that where it's sports related, so can be lengthy, we find that when it's not our turn to be doing whatever event is going on during the meets or whatever. We go to the playground, and while the kids play, the littler ones play, us grown-ups or the bigger kids, we can either run the outdoor track or walk it or just around the playground. And it's still fun and you're still moving. We love to play tag and hide and seek. I mean, I think that's the benefit of having little kids. Right. It's very easy to get out and find silly ways to be moving and enjoying.
Right. That's what I suggest to a lot of some of the people that are maybe a Jenny Craig client, but not necessarily a Curves client. So they don't come in and do the activity. Maybe they live in another area. We have a lot of people that drive to us for the Jenny Craig part, or they're just not into a routine of exercise yet. Right. And if they have kids, that's what I say. Your kids want you to play, and they want to do it. They want to play with them too, but they just maybe will find things where they can sit and the kids can play. But if you join in and you start having
get
fun
up,
with
throw
them,
that soccer ball out there and get up. Seriously, it really does, and it's such a fun way, and you get so many more benefits than just the added steps and stuff. It feels good to laugh with your kids and play with your kids, and
the more you do it, the more you'll want to.
You're right about it being addictive. I mean, it's true as far as
it's addictive to do it. It's addictive to not do it. So
it is.
So if you're in a rut and you're not doing it, you got to push. You got to make that list yourself. Even if you're not sitting with a consultant somewhere, make a list yourself of what what's important to you, where you want to be, where you're at, and then what those what your options are to get there, and then just make tiny baby steps. And pretty soon you'll be going.
That's it. It's funny on this one. It's this health website. There are 3 parts to actually motivation, which sounds funny because we all know what motivation is. It's those things that for whatever reason, because it is so individual, keeps you coming back to commit to whatever the goal is, regardless whether it's physical activity or not. But activation is the very first thing. You have to do something.
Kick it into action.
Take that first step. Whether that first step is a literal step outside or step into a gym, step into a Curves, take that first step at the grocery store to grab something that's a little healthier rather than just your go-to comfort foods. There are lots, as we have discovered with having chefs on and stuff, there are so many foods that you would never think could actually be comfort foods that are good for you and healthy and yummy and definitely persistence is the second. You have to keep at it and tell yourself, so what, you had a bad day and you didn't do your steps, whatever, you didn't get there. Who cares? Do it tomorrow. Just
you have a new zero balance in the morning and you can try it again.
That's it. Absolutely. And intensity, the concentration or the physical activity that it takes to, complete whatever your daily goal is, whatever that is, you have to maintain that and try to, pursue the intensity to be a little bit better tomorrow, a little bit, a little bit more. And I think it's
a lot of people that I talk to, it's they look at the whole picture, myself too, because I personally have struggled with balance, myself, and I do. I mean, we have to. It's a daily focus that you have to keep remotivating yourself. But people a lot of times are thinking of the big picture of the whole chunk, and we can't fix everything at once. Yeah. But we can keep going a little bit at a time. We can take that step and take the next step.
Absolutely.
And always for me, especially if I get into a rut, the hardest part is just taking that first step. I mean, especially when it came to the first of the year and I weighed myself and I just kind of stood back and I was just I've never been this heavy in my entire life. Was that your motivation or was that more depressing? That was pretty much my motivation. And then a similar thing happened with Brittany at the same time too, because we just, she had just graduated college.
Yeah.
And she's just,
life happens. I mean, there's no reason. There's many excuses, but it's just the truth that life happens, and you just you lose that focus sometimes, and sometimes you need to regain that that balance to be able to focus on it. Right. So.
And it doesn't take that long, at the gym or walking or just getting some sort of physical activity, for you to start seeing those benefits. Because given right now I'm going, trying to go about every day and going for at least an hour, but when I started, I was only going for about 15 minutes just to really get myself used to working out.
Acclimated again.
Because it had been so long since I had, and I had to keep reminding myself that this is working, this is helping.
Right, so setting attainable goals and then giving yourself credit when you achieve it.
Yeah. We did have one lady who was awesome. She was working with a life coach, and to do that, she would set little, rewards for herself. Like she bought a necklace that she was dying to wear, but told herself until she lost this many pounds. And again, it isn't just about the weight. It's about, for her, she was trying to adopt a whole healthier lifestyle. And weight is typically just a perk to that. When you really start sticking to the physical exercise, the better, what you're taking in. And so the first time her coworkers saw her wear it, she pointed out that they knew that was the necklace, So it's like a badge of honor, you know what I mean? And she had a dress she had purchased for her ultimate goal. And, when she said she got to wear that, it's life changing in the sense that right there is motivation that's a feeling that you've experienced yourself that you can draw back from on those days you're having a bad day, because you're going to.
Right. You look at past victories,
Absolutely.
We'll have failures,
Celebrate
but we look
those.
at past victories. And then, being too hard on ourselves, that a lot of people, that's the thing that keeps people down, because we're too hard on ourselves. But, we have a preacher friend who's passed on now, but he always said it's not a shame. He wasn't necessarily talking about weight or physical fitness, but it's not a shame to find yourself there. It's a shame to stay there. So as long as you're taking some kind of step to make yourself, to head to the right direction, we do have to be accountable, but we don't have to beat ourselves up, because, there are a lot of variables, and people don't have the education, the knowledge of all these different foods that we're eating over time. They keep finding out more and more and more.
Well, that's just, Rick and I talk about that all the time. Finding out about food is really intimidating, because they are always learning new things, and there's so much conflicting information as far as this is good, no it's not, this is healthier, oh no it's not, you're always
some want you not to eat any carbs, some want you not to eat any of this
or you start trying to read labels and you find out, haha, joke's on you, you just fell for the advertising. You didn't read close enough, and it's frustrating. And I do think knowledge is power. They say it for a reason, and the more we do learn, the more you do want to learn. And I think, again, that's where it goes back to being a little addicting as far as trying to make those healthier choices. It does spiral into other healthier choices, and I think it's really important.
With the Jenny Craig plan, it's prepackaged food, and so you're eating, it's mindless. You don't have to figure all that out. But at the same time, as you go on your journey and you're losing the weight and you're following the plan, you get 3 meals and 2 snacks a day. You're adding in vegetables on your own and maybe some yogurt and milk products. And then as you lose the weight, you're gradually learning how to eat off of the plan. So you're not just bombarded. It's slowly, we meet with them. They get a consultation every week. And so it's a personal one-on-one time where, we talk with that person, and hopefully they're incorporating exercise as well. But it's a very convenient plan. It's all packaged and ready for them, but yet they're learning in little bits as they go. And once they reach their halfway goal, like if they want to lose 40 pounds, at that 20-pound loss, then we're starting to do a halfway menu where they're making foods on their own. And we're giving them guidelines of what to follow. But you don't have to learn, you don't have to be a nutritionist to plan your meals. Because if you just go online and start looking, it's so overwhelming. Then you don't know what to eat. It
absolutely is overwhelming. And, you start... you think of things, I think almost it's harder for adults to try new things than, kids, kids are going to be a little bit picky, as far as trying something new, heaven forbid. But once we get stuck in these ruts, it's really different to change our own views. And, we've had a couple chefs on, and we had a vegan chef on, and, we are not vegan at our house. And so I was very apprehensive to try a lot of the things that she had brought and made. But she was fantastic. And, a few of the things I tasted, and I was like, I could see how people might like it. It might not be something I would make at home. But there were other things that were phenomenal. And I think such little changes make such an enormous difference. So I think it's been great. Is that our phone ringing?
That's not us. That's the other one.
Oh, okay, good. Well, I heard it. I wanted to make sure. Because, again, we have a few minutes left. If anybody wants to call and let us know how they're going to get out and moving this weekend, we'd love to hear it. And please give us a call. And if anyone's interested in touching base with Melinda after the show, she's going to set you up with trying curves out. So.
And our live call-in line is 861-1632. Still got a little bit of time left.
Yeah, you do. You're getting down there. You're making us sweat for it, but just in case. So, Definitely. I mean, I think these talks are always so important. And the more we do them, too, the more hopefully we make someone think about, hey, today might be that day. It is nice out. Maybe I'll walk around the block today. You know, just that very first thing to get you going.
Yeah. And I would say, you know, if there's any women out there that are listening and you're having that moment like you mentioned where you get on the scale and then you said, was that your moment to inspire you or was it your moment to depress you? Mm-hmm. And sometimes it's the same moment.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
you know, and so if you're having that kind of day and you're looking, or it's usually a series of days, it takes us sometimes a while before, you know, it's one of the questions we ask: how long have you been seriously thinking about doing something, you know, to increase your quality of life? And usually it's something we think about for quite some time. But if you're at home listening, you know, come and see me. Sometimes it does take just connecting with somebody else,
right?
And even if you just want to come in and talk about it, and we'll show you what we have to offer, and you know, if you feel like it's something that could fit into your life, then it could be a step in the right direction and be a part of what becomes your fitness plans, you know, for the rest of your life.
Right.
And obviously you can do it for a long time because I got Eleanor still coming in.
I love that.
We have several women who are over 80. And we have a range of, I think 26 is my youngest member to 92. So, but if you need to meet, and even if you find that curves isn't the exact thing for you, something might click when you come in and talk about it. And, you know, it's good to know
motivate
your
you to find something.
Yes. And there's also a lot of people have wellness plans with their insurance, and it will, there's other places too that you can go with that.
Absolutely.
Benefit.
That's a great
But it's
point.
free. You know, there's so many people sitting out there that don't realize it, or maybe they do. They don't maybe see the value in it, but come in and visit me. The Silver Sneaker program completely pays your membership. Wow. So I have a lot of people. I have about 60 members who are coming, and they're getting the benefit of the exercise, and they're, you know, it's paid for with their insurance.
And, you know, I have to think there's a reason insurance companies do that. It's not because they want to make people happy. It's because it's so much better for your life. Right. Ultimately, I mean, really, if you really kind of think about that, there's a reason that those are incentives. And it's because it significantly can reduce your risks of, physical exercise, of everything. You're talking from mental disorders to every kind of physical disorder you can possibly think of.
You know, lower your blood pressure, your sugar.
You know, last month, February, was Heart Health Month. And so, we had a lot of discussion about just, it really, exercise improves every aspect of your life. And no matter how you do it, no matter where you do it, find a way to do it that works for you. And, you know, find what motivates you. And I appreciate you coming in, Melinda. I appreciate you inviting me into the curves. I had a great time, and I think everyone there was fantastic.
You're
and they
welcome.
love you.
Come
Keep doing what you're doing. Yep.
Thank you. Thank you guys for having me on today.
And if anybody wants to get a hold of you or wants to join Curves, how do they get a hold of you?
You can stop in at 1708 East US Highway 20, right there in Evergreen Plaza by Memo's Restaurant, or you can call me. It's 872-1020.
Thank you very much. It was great having you on. Learned a lot about
you guys.
curves. Even though I can't go.
Look at you.
Well, you know. Mary, could we have a little preview of what we could expect next week? I know that
next week on Monday we're having we're Jackie, Jenny, and Dwayne are coming in. We're doing the check-in kind of. It'll be the 2-week point to see how their short-term goals, how they did the last 2 weeks, and see kind of where they're at, and see if we need to readjust goals for the next 2. We're hoping Dr. Level will be able to Skype in with us. We'll find out more about that. And next week we're talking, March is colorectal cancer awareness month, and so we have a couple more gastro-related doctors. That's going to be very informational. So please, listeners, anyone with questions that you might have for gastro doctors, be thinking of them. Let us know. I know you can email and you can call in, or just be listening. That'll be Wednesday and Thursday. Those will be great shows. So we always have exciting stuff going on.
That sounds like another great week of shows.
Yeah, we always have a lot going on, so that's fun. Chef Melody will be joining us again. Speaking of vegan chef, she'll be joining us next Friday. So we have always a lot going on all over the place.
All right. Thanks, everyone. Younger Life Live, AM 1420.
Thanks. Have a great weekend.
AM 1420, WIMS, Michigan City, a Girard Media Company station.
CBS News. I'm Steve.